I'd like to welcome you to another Sonny's Piano TV show. And today, our guest artist is the great jazz pianist, Scott Ballin. And Scott teaches at the Five Towns Music College here on Long Island. And he's a professor there. And he's going to tear it up on the piano for us some more. And I want to thank him for coming down here and joining us. And, you know.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay,
let's enjoy it some more. Okay, we're going to continue with my guest today, Scott Ballin, the great jazz pianist, and he's a professor at Five Towns College here on Long Island. I'm going to let him talk a little bit about Five Towns College. And so what do you do over there?
Well, I teach primarily piano. I have private piano students. I have a group piano, keyboard lab. I do music history and the cabaret workshop, which is my performance ensemble.
Well, I think that also folks don't realize that there's a lot of concerts and music productions going on at Five Towns College. Could you tell us a little bit about that and what's coming up soon?
Well, sure. There's a lot of things coming up. In fact, I have a concert coming up on the 31st, January 31st, tribute to Billie Holiday, featuring one of the students, Tierney Ryan.
Right. And now this is all open to the public. Sure. You know, people don't realize
it's very reasonably priced. There's no parking fee. It's not like going to the city having a big hassle. We're right off exit 50 on the LIE in Dix Hills. So it's a very convenient location. And we have all different Broadway type shows. We have jazz concerts. We have Bucky Pizzarelli coming up in February, well-known jazz guitarist. So we have stuff for kids, we have magic shows, all different things.
How can folks find out about the schedule?
The best way is right through the website.
Okay, and the address?
ftc.edu.
Okay.
Five Towns College, new website, everything's good.
What else is coming up in the future?
Well, my cabaret workshop is performing May 1st and 2nd.
And what's that about?
Well, we have a jazz trio with myself on the piano and a student bassist and drummer. And we have about a dozen singers singing the Great American Songbook. And we'll be doing Johnny Mercer, songs of Johnny Mercer.
A lot of musical colleges focus on classical, and that's what's a little different about the Five Towns, is that they do have the classical, but they have much more.
Yeah, it's really more popular music based than jazz based. That's why it's a unique college.
Right.
And it's been around about 35 years now, and we produce a lot of great people.
Right.
And we do concentrate more on that. So we have a lot of guitarists, a lot of rock guitarists, a lot of drummers and things. They get into the jazz music and learn about the style.
So they have different degrees there. You can have
Sure.
a performance degree.
Right, performance, you can take music education, you can take audio engineering, which is very popular as well.
Right.
Plus they have a whole business division, separate from the music.
So there's an undergraduate program and there's a graduate program.
That's
Tell us a little about what the graduate program is like.
Sure, I'm actually involved myself personally in the DMA program, Doctor of Musical Arts. We have a master's program, a shorter program, that people continue on from the school very often.
So both from a entertainment and performance perspective, where you have the concerts and these different productions that are open to the public,
Sure.
and also as far as music education is concerned,
Right.
5 towns, colleges really.
It's becoming the place to go.
Yeah.
People very successful getting jobs.
You mentioned somebody about had a Grammy Award or something?
Well, Chrisette Payne's our pride and joy. She's one of the new artists, new Grammy artists. And she's from Long Island, right out here in the Patchogue area.
Oh, really?
And she's performing everywhere. Madison Square Garden has big hits, and it's fantastic.
And we're talking about a couple of DJs also that came out of there?
Right, they have the DJ people. They have a rock guitarist, Joe Satriani. He's very famous in that
really?
style.
He came from 5 towns?
Yes, many years ago, he went to 5 towns, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're very proud of our graduates.
Yeah. How long has the college been operating here in Long Island?
Since the early 70s.
Okay. So earlier too, we were talking about a little bit about how you got into piano and jazz in particular.
Well, actually, it was from 5 towns when I went there many years ago, and it was in Merrick.
Right.
They put us into the jazz ensemble the first day, and it was go from there.
Wow. And you teach privately as well?
Private students as well, in Comac. Some people, more advanced people, come to me for jazz lessons, yes.
And I've seen you gig out. I caught you at the Garden City
Hotel, right, one of the places.
Yeah, and you play with different jazz ensembles.
Right, different combinations, small groups mostly, and some library concerts we have coming up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it keeps me busy.
Yeah, yeah. Jazz improvisation, what draws you to that? What drew you to that? And what do you love about it?
I think it's the freedom of it, but it's also the harmonic interest of it. It's very interesting, and it kind of draws upon the classical music, but it lets you have your own expression.